Good evening, everyone. Hello. Please take your seats. We are getting ready to get started. My name is Adenike Hamilton. I am the current president of the Associated Students, and I'm here and delighted to serve as your Master of Ceremonies, or I guess in my case it will be Mistress of Ceremonies, tonight for this evening's very special event, which is to celebrate student support here at San Francisco State University. It's truly a pleasure to welcome our alumni. We have a lot of alumni in the room tonight, our friends and donors and supporters of the university who made this evening very special for us by supporting us financially, supporting and investing in our students here at San Francisco State. This evening we'll also be celebrating the university's first scholarship campaign. The university in 2012, with President Wong, launched a very aggressive campaign to raise over $12 million for student support. This evening, President Wong will announce what we did and how we did in this campaign, but we'll keep you in suspense until he gets up there. So, hold on to your seats, guys. I would like to let everyone know that they can also begin their salad. We have salad in front of everyone, so please get started as we continue on in this program. And I would also like to introduce the following guests that are here with us. President and Mrs. Wong. It's a long list, so please hold your applause. We have Dr. Volker, who's the interim vice president of student affairs. Dean Paul Sherwin, College of Liberal and Creative Arts, Dean of the College of Liberal and Creative Arts. Dean Linda Oubre, College of Business. The SF State Foundation Board of Directors, Camila Smith, Nancy Feudman, and Wade Rose, as well as Peter Koo, Executive Director of the Associated Students. Yes, thank you, that was everyone. I would also like to first introduce the man behind this campaign. You may know him as Vice President Robert Nava, who has been very aggressive since he's been coming to this campus and really putting our campus on the map for student support and student scholarships. So, Robert Nava.
Thank you, Adenike, and a special applause to our ASI president. Adenike, thank you. Adenike Hamilton's leadership on campus with the Associated Students, working on policy issues, supporting our students in campus and administration, she's been just terrific to work with. And in just a couple of weeks, she will be graduating, so we will see her at commencement, class of 2014, yes. This evening, I wanted, first of all, to express my appreciation and welcome to everyone who's here this evening. And as we were out at the reception, you had a chance to listen to this incredible music by our students, the Holloway String Quartet. And I'd like to express our appreciation to the Holloway String Quartet. Whitney Smith is with us. Whitney, are you with us? Whitney, thank you for all that you and the students and alumni do with a quartet. Thank you for the beautiful music. I also wanted to add a brief introduction of a new colleague, actually, who joined our campus 9 days ago. You know, President Wong, when he arrived in 2012, he's been really busy on so many fronts, but certainly one is hiring additional senior executives and working with the provost and hiring deans. It's an ongoing process. It's been quite dynamic. And I'm delighted this evening that our new Associate Vice President for HR is with us, Ann Sherwin. Ann, where are you? Ann, welcome. Ann Sherman, 9 days here on campus, and she's already jumped in with her staff and her team and reports to our Vice President, Ron Cortez. And it's going to be just a real dynamic team. So welcome, and I'm glad you're with us this evening. I wanted just also to, our Foundation board member Nancy Feudum, who is here with us this evening. Nancy, I also wanted to express my thanks to you. I'd like for our students this evening to know that we have a foundation that invests the gifts and resources that are generated, and so we have directors on our foundation. There's almost 30 directors who spend a lot of time working with President Wong, with me, with many of us, in ensuring that we have resources for more scholarships and programmatic support for our faculty. And Nancy Feudum has just been a wonderful director. Nancy, we appreciate all that you do for our foundation and university, so thank you. A couple of brief comments, and then Adenike is going to step in when it's time for me, when my time is up, so we can get to dinner. But I just wanted to share briefly that when President Wong and Mrs. Wong arrived on campus in 2012, we knew that we were in for an exciting time for the university. Dr. Wong came in with big ideas, lots of energy, started to quickly re-engage many of our alumni and friends and corporate leaders in the Bay Area, and frankly, across the country and internationally. But one of the items that President Wong mentioned to us almost from the very first day of his arrival was, how are the students doing as a result of the recession? Because you'll recall in 2012, we were still just coming out of the Great Recession. Our students' tuition had increased dramatically. Faculty were reduced in terms of hours and resources for our faculty. There were many tensions across the campus that were being driven by lack of resources from the state of California. So consequently, tuition was increased. Tuition became much more expensive, and at the same time, our scholarship support for students had not increased at all. So President Wong said, I think it's critical, Robert, team, development team, advancement team deans, that we raise money for scholarships to help our students. But not only did the President and Mrs. Wong give us that charge, President Wong established a scholarship endowment. One of the first things that he and Mrs. Wong did is that they established a scholarship endowment to support students, and that sent a very important message across the university. When the President is stepping forward saying fundraising is important, but he also establishes his own philanthropy to support that, it sends a message. Then we had a dean who was hired, Dean Linda Oubre from our College of Business, and Linda and her husband, Nate, also established an endowed scholarship and leadership for the College of Business. But it was clear that we had a new example of how we need to generate support for our students by our president, administration, and certainly by our deans. So President Wong said, why don't we look at developing a campaign to generate scholarship dollars for students? So we said, that sounds like a good idea, President Wong. What do you think? How much should we raise? So he thought, well, why don't you try $12 million? Can we raise $12 million in 2 years? And when the president asked that question, you say, yes, sir. And you know, with the help of the president and the deans and the administration, and most importantly, with the help of those of you that are here with us tonight, that's why you've been invited to express our thanks, and many other donors that are not with us this evening. With your help, we were able to do some great things, and President Wong will share with us a little bit later, after dinner, some of the specifics. The last item, you know, when we talk about engaging our alumni, and we have great examples of alumni who are supporting this institution, both with their time and their resources, but also our students have become engaged in supporting the institution. And we know that to be effective in our fundraising, our students need to be engaged, whether they're making a gift of $20 or $5 or $50, the amount isn't important. That is not what is important. It's that the students are learning philanthropy and supporting the university, which will be their alma mater. And one great example this evening that I do want to acknowledge is with the help of Adenike Hamilton and the board of directors, the student directors of ASI, with their support from their executive director, Peter Koo, the students established a $160,000 scholarship to support students. So with that, Identique, I'm going to stop, but I wanted to thank you for your leadership and your board, the students that made this possible, because you've set an example for all of us, but you certainly have set an example for future Gator students when they come on campus. I'm going to ask if you, the associated students that are with us today from the board, would you just please stand so we can acknowledge you and recognize you? The board members, ASI board members, please stand. Thank you, ASI board members. Thank you, students, for your leadership, for your support. I'll turn it back over to Identique. Thank you.
Thank you very much, VP Nava. We will be serving dinner at this time, so dinner is dinner is now served. So I hope everyone has been enjoying their dinner and their dessert. Everything was tasting really, really good. We're now ready to resume our program. I have the distinct honor to introduce our amazing president, Les Wong. And in March of 2013, I had the privilege of speaking at President Wong's inauguration here at SF State. And it was something that was an amazing experience for me, being able to be at the investiture of our 13th president here at San Francisco State. So it's been almost 2.5 years working with President Wong. Almost 2 years. You put in your time. He's like 20 months. Not there yet. 4 more months. But in the past 20 months, he's accomplished a lot as a president. He has been focused with himself and his wife, Mrs. Wong, on ensuring student success here at San Francisco State. And there have been a lot of positive experiences here on campus because of President Wong. He's helped create a more engaged alumni and alumni giving, and has really connected students with our alumni. President Wong has been a very effective fundraiser, as we can see by the event tonight that we're all here to celebrate, and personally leading the way to raising a historical number of multi-million-dollar scholarships and leadership gifts here at San Francisco State. When President Wong's leadership and with President Wong's leadership and with the SF State Foundation, the university will move forward with its first comprehensive campaign with a working goal of raising $150 million in the next 6 years. So these are very aggressive goals for our campus, and this is something that has really reinvigorated our campus. So would you please help me in welcoming the president of San Francisco State, President Les Wong.
Identique, when you're the president of a university, I will travel any distance to attend your investiture. Okay? That's a public promise. Okay, we got lots of witnesses to that. Welcome, everyone. Tonight really is a very, very, very special night, not only to honor the Rosenbergs, but also to talk about the university, to celebrate our students, to really begin to sense what the future holds for this great university and for all of the people that are part of it, from staff to faculty, to students, obviously, to our friends, to our donors, to the city of San Francisco. And as I'd like to say, because I made Robert travel around the world with me a couple times, we're also convinced that the sun never sets on a San Francisco State alum. And no matter how cold or how warm it is, there's always a Gator somewhere nearby. I'll talk about the mascot on another occasion, okay? I could tell you were all holding your breath about that one. The students are too sharp. They caught me in a weak moment. I'd like to do two things. First of all, to give you some ideas about our Students First campaign, because it has made me incredibly proud to be part of this community. As Robert was telling you earlier, when I first came, we started talking about how we need to really, get this place going and to support our students. And I remember him vividly asking me, well, gosh, what do you think we ought to do? And I also remember the look on his face when I gave him the number of, geez, Robert, we're first-rate university, I think 12, just to kind of warm up. And it was kind of exciting because he said, okay, we can do that. And I'm really pleased to tell you, as Denike was alluding to, that at that time, we thought we'd give ourselves a break. You know how when you grade yourself in class, you don't know whether to go real high or whatever. And we thought, well, we could do 12 in 2 years. And I have to tell you that we still have a couple months to go, but we're right now at $14.5 million. There are 2 months left, and I've told the team that, it really would be cool if we could reach $15 million by June 30th. And so we're sort of, we're not content to just simply meet the goal and trot by it. I think we ought to run by the goal at a good speed and remind ourselves of the students that we're going to help along the way. So let me give you a couple things about the campaign and what it really means, because sometimes when you think of $14.5 million, you kind of think, well, what does that get you? How many students are we helping, et cetera. So that Student First campaign helps us offer over 135 new scholarships and student support funds established for students through this campaign. 4 of these gifts were over $1 million each, and we received 7 gifts between $250,000 and $1 million. And as you also heard, perhaps the most telling aspect of the whole campaign was that our own students contributed to the campaign. Denike and her team and the ASI Board of Directors provided, as you heard, a $160,000 gift to support student scholarships. And I want to just thank you. I never make lightly of being a role model, but, when students themselves take on the task of being a role model, it's just incredibly magical. The number of donors focused on student support each year increased by over 17%. And so what that means is that 17% new donors started every year. And that sort of builds that community of philanthropy surrounding our students. Individual giving as a percentage of overall giving has increased from approximately 40% prior to about 60% now. And that's an important evolution in the maturity of the San Francisco State Advancement Team because it helps us set the stage for our energies to successfully complete our comprehensive campaign. If you see, you'll get the first clue because I'm going to tell you what the symbol is, but I'm thinking of getting badges with 150/6 and not have anything else so that when people ask, well, what's that about? Then you can ask them to help contribute to the $150 million over 6 years. I think we can have a lot of fun doing that kind of thing. But I'm very confident that the donor base and our support base that defines this great university, is stepping forward. And if anything, the Student First campaign was the best evidence that a new president, his new team, and the new refreshed energy on campus just reflects that commitment from our donors. But I want to now, at least at this point, I want to thank and celebrate all of the alumni, friends, students, and faculty for their support in making this first initial step into their scholarship campaign such a great, great success. So I want to give you each a hand. You should join me in sharing that applause. And specifically tonight, I want to thank Jerry and Phyllis Rosenberg and their family. They're here. Their leadership gift made a significant difference, not only in the campaign, but in the lives of students. And with their gift in December, that is what propelled us past our $12 million goal. And I'll tell you, when you're sort of into that first year and the Rosenbergs step up and Jerry says, you know what, it's my turn to help out. And when that gift came in and pushed us over the goal, it was just magical because it foretold, the generosity that I think the Rosenbergs best exemplify. So while I'm here, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Jerry. And I know it's not a roast, and so I'm not going to go near that. But I do want to share with you some information about Jerry, because I think you'll just deeply appreciate it. Jerry earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in history at San Francisco State University am I allowed to give the year? 1962. And during the summer session of 1964, Jerry was a participant on the San Francisco State Around the World tour. And he often says that he felt this experience was the pivotal learning experience in his young life at that time. In addition to being a successful business leader, Jerry is someone who, when he finds the need, he will find a way to fill it for himself or to help motivate others to help him and others reach that goal. And this certainly was the case when he stepped forward to help our students by establishing the Jerold Rosenberg Family Scholarship Endowment. The Rosenberg Family Scholarship Endowment will provide financial assistance in the form of more scholarships to full-time students in the College of Liberal and Creative Arts. The endowed scholarship will also support eligible Rosenberg Scholarship recipients who wish to continue their education at the graduate level at San Francisco State University. And I have to tell you, I've spent more than 40 years in higher education, and it is really exceptional when a philanthropist will provide funds not only to get students to their baccalaureate degree, but also to support them as they pursue advanced degrees at the master's level. It's very rare and very special. Jerry and Phyllis, thank you, I think, on behalf of our students. I think we should just... And I knew Jerry was pretty special because the first time that we had gotten together, I don't know if you remember, I think we talked more about the Giants in baseball than probably most anything else, but he and I also realized what's important in life and how to build a great friendship between us and between the Rosenberg family and the university. So I'm very honored at this moment to ask Jerry to come up and offer a few words to address you. And I think Ann Harris is going to follow up after at that moment. But Jerry, would you come up? And by way of a very short introduction to his far more relevant comments, when you talk to people about what's important to a university and what's important to the team that I'm fortunate to have around me, when the whole notion of students first as a theme came up, it was just not only creative and terrific, it was appropriate. Because I think what defines us as a university is the fact that we do, in our genes, feel that students come first. And so, Jerry, thank you for exemplifying that. Thank you.
quite an honor to stand here in front of you, considering that 52 years ago I was a student trying to learn what most of you have already learned. And it really is an interesting concept, philanthropy. And let me give you a little background of where I came from. I came from a family that has been very philanthropic, maybe not to the extent that I have been, and maybe not to the uniqueness that I've tried to strive for. But my dad and mom always gave money over the years, from World War II all the way into the present, establishing various philanthropic funds to various entities. And I remember being a student here, and I was a reasonable student. I was a C-plus student, and that was the first semester that I was here, and I had 1 B- and 4 C+. And I'll be very honest with you, I haven't got the slightest idea what the difference between the B- and the C+ was. And neither did my professors, because I went and complained, obviously, and I was told, no, it's only a C+ worth something. So I did improve to a B average later on, and then in my last quarter doing graduate work, it was much higher. But I felt at that time, with my fellow students, seeing the scholarships that were awarded, and they were awarded to A and A+ students. And I always felt something missing. And so when I got the opportunity in my life at this particular point in time to do something over and above what I've done to other groups, I thought about it. And I gave some real hard thought to the average student. And when I sat down with Andrea Ruo from San Francisco State University's development program, who was a great help to me, I figured out that what I wanted to do was to give the average student the opportunity to use scholarship funds so they could go to school. 50 years ago, when I went to school, it was approximately $84 a year tuition. It is now close to $7,000. And I felt with those kind of numbers that assistance would be welcomed and could be used. And before we went to the extreme amount of what I did, we tried a little experiment. And I put some money up for 2 students, guaranteeing them 3 years of college tuition. And I was absolutely enthralled with the students that were able to get the scholarship and for the work that they've done. And I'm sure when they're going to talk, they're going to tell you about it. And it proved my point, which is that we needed something long-term. So I sat down and devised a perpetual scholarship with the proceeds and the investment income that the money would get from the scholarship fund would be used for the students. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought that stopping at 4 years was not exactly the greatest thing in the world, because today the master's program is very important, as I'm sure a lot of you have them, including my children. And so I just changed the format to allow graduate work to be done as long as it's done here. And that was accepted by the university, which I appreciated very much, and because I don't like to force things, and so I'm sure that they didn't want to force it in me either. And that's basically how this scholarship came about. And I'm sure over the next 20, 30 years that it's going to be phenomenal for the school because of what it will give to the students. And I'll make a little plea at this particular moment that I think we as Californians have let our children down. We've allowed the state to take money out of the schools and put it someplace else. I'm sure that I'm correct in making the statement when the University of California and the rest of the state college systems established, there was no thought of tuition whatsoever. And I know other states were in the same boat, but for whatever reason, we are now charging I think, an extremely high cost for our students to learn. And after all, they're our future. And if we're going to push down our future, where are we going to go? So I would support some sort of an initiative, if that's possible. Get it on the doggone ballot, and let's get our students back to school. Again, I want to thank the president and the rest of the staff of the university for allowing me to do what I want to do. And I'm going to leave you with the words of Thornton Wilder, who was a great writer of drama and of plays. And he wrote The Matchmaker. And in The Matchmaker, as translated onto the Hello, Dolly format, Dolly Levy says to the audience, and a quote, "Money is like manure. It doesn't do any good unless you spread it around." So we're going to spread it around. Thank you.
Well, and I'd vote for you. Jerry, thank you so much for those inspiring words. It's really motivating to hear why you and Phyllis gave support to student scholarships and about your desire to help promising students overcome financial obstacles. Thank you again for the generosity that you have shown to the students of San Francisco State, because your support will help students for many, many years to come. So thank you. This evening we have many other donors here too that have helped support the Students First campaign. So please note that your names are recognized in our program this evening, and to all of you, we want to say a very heartfelt thank you. Earlier this evening, President Wong shared details about the success of the Students First campaign. And I agree that all of those numbers and totals are exciting and very, very impressive. But what's even more inspiring are the student impact stories that we're about to hear about tonight. And before we do that, I want to take just a moment and ask the student scholarship recipients that are here tonight to stand and be recognized. Thank you. Tonight we are privileged to hear from a number of our scholarship student recipients who have benefited from all of your generosity. Your gifts have made a difference to the student stories that you are about to hear. First, we're going to have a short 4-minute video titled, "You Made a Difference." The video was produced by our very talented students in the Doc Film Institute here at San Francisco State. And following the video, we'll also hear from 4 of our student scholarship recipients who are here with us tonight. And 2 of those recipients are recipients of Jerry and Phyllis Rosenberg's scholarship. That's Andrea Guzman and Victoria Tai. So welcome, and we look forward to hearing from you. But first of all, let's enjoy the video.
I'm now able to focus my professional academic life.
If I get to meet the person that gave me the scholarship, I would definitely say thank you so much.
What I would want to say to the person that established for the scholarship is just a simple thank you.
My name is Phyllis Lee, and I'm currently studying business administration. Right after I graduate, I would hope to start working at a company that's already established. That way it's giving me the foundation of what it takes to maybe perhaps start my own nonprofit organization. Receiving the scholarship is definitely an encouragement, knowing that just one scholarship letter is telling me that, Felice, there's hope, and then it's a source of encouragement where it's I'm gonna continue working hard in school, and I'm gonna do something that's gonna benefit the rest of the society.
My name is Anthony, and my major is kinesiology, and I'm minoring in Asian American Studies. My family has a really strong view on education, so definitely they've always stressed the importance of going to college, even though my parents never had the chance to. I've always had people tell me to apply for scholarships coming out of high school. It wasn't until I got my first one that I really believed there was really money out there for students, and I ended up actually getting a full ride to state this year, living on tuition included, and one of the scholarships I got was the James Hibariyashi scholarship. That definitely opened up so many doors for me, just because of the network of people I was exposed to, the mentors I was able to gain through those networks, and then also just the financial freedom to devote myself to extracurricular activities in my grades in preparation for graduate school. Everything that I've experienced here, the friends I've made, the education I've had, all those things have combined to offer me the perspective that I think will carry me through life and make me be prepared for whatever challenges come along the way.
My name is Kirsten Liaz. I am majoring in physiology. As I went through college, my father experienced some mental illnesses, and that gave me more drive to pursue medicine. I wanted to pursue medicine for the sheer fact that I wanted to help, people like my father. The scholarship that I received was through the Alumni Association, the Senior Scholarship. The scholarship has tremendously changed my life. I've been able to work less on campus. It's definitely changed a lot in my study habits. I've been able to study more and still focus on other extracurricular activities that reinforce my studies. I actually just got offered through my PI a fully funded research opportunity in Peru this summer. So that's an amazing thing, and I definitely think that without the scholarship, I wouldn't have been able to spend more time in lab, and the fact that he sees my work effort there shows him that he can, trust me with this project.
So my name is Jennifer White, and I'm a philosophy major. I applied to SFSU because they have one of the best master's programs in the country for philosophy. And my first year here, I was working 4 jobs and taking a time-and-a-half course load. The support that I got from the university community, from the Alumni Association, among others, that was absolutely critical, because then the quality of my scholarship just dramatically increased, right? Once I was able to give my full attention and focus to school. Because of you, I will be enrolling this fall for doctoral study at UCLA, which is incredibly exciting, and I can't wait to see where the journey takes me. So thank you.
I just want to say thank you to the people that awarded me the scholarship. You've helped a first-generation college student help himself leave poverty.
I just want to say thank you. It really means a lot to me that you support my dreams.
Just a simple thank you for believing in me and for empowering me to become the agent of change that I want to be in my community.
First of all, I would like to introduce one of our student speakers, Andrea Guzman.
Hello, I am Andrea Guzman, and I was awarded the Rosenberg Scholarship in spring of 2012. So the privilege, hold on, this is awkward, I apologize. The privilege of being awarded the Rosenberg Scholarship has allowed me to witness a couple's devotion to higher education. Entering the university environment, my parents and I were posed with the looming thought and reality of paying my way through college. I am truly thankful to have two kind, interested, generous individuals joining me on this road. As a child of two immigrant parents from El Salvador, education, moving forward, speaks of the huge role my parents have and will continue to in my life. The two of them have held a huge impact on this path, constantly motivating me, urging me, oftentimes overwhelmingly so, to achieve something they didn't get a chance to, standing by every step of the way and enjoying the ride. In my eyes, my education within creative writing is to learn the ability to express what I can't aloud, but in words, clearly distinct and using my own voice to create something visual and moving off of the page. The generosity of the Rosenbergs has given the opportunity for me to tell my own story. The generosity of the Rosenbergs has given me the rare privilege of not placing my parents in debt or entering in debt myself, but also has placed me on the direct road to being a first-generation college student within my family. Though the road to graduation is a long one, I am often overwhelmed with gratitude to not be alone and to have the support of my family and the support of Jerold and Phyllis Rosenberg. As I have expressed over the past 2 years, words will never be enough to describe the continuous gratitude that I have had towards the two of you and the impact that you have and continuously will in my story. On behalf of Victoria and I, who will speak soon, we thank you continuously for this extraordinary gift and the way it has impacted and will continue to in our future. Thank you.
I'm happy to announce our next student scholarship recipient, Whitney Smith.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. and Mrs. Wong, the Rosenbergs, Mr. Dotson. My name's Whitney Smith, and I'm a very grateful recipient of an Edward M. Nagel scholarship. I actually recently had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Dotson, and after that, Teresa asked me to share my story with you. I'm in my second year of graduate school here at SF State, finishing up a degree in viola performance. Before I enrolled at State 2 years ago, I was a waitress, living on my own in Oakland, waiting tables to pay my bills, and just playing in a community women's orchestra whenever I had time. It was those women in that orchestra that convinced me that I should pursue music as a career instead of a hobby. Wrongly assuming that the conservatory was the only place in the Bay where you could get a music education, and knowing that a waitressing salary was hardly enough to pay for a degree there, I'd given up the idea of going to school again. Fortunately, I was very wrong. The day I contacted Paul Yarbrough, who's a professor here, about studying with him changed the course of my career forever. In him, I found not only a mentor and teacher, but also the most fervent supporter of my goals as a musician. In the Alexander String Quartet, I found an unwavering dedication to pedagogy that I try to emulate when I teach my own students. In this school, I have found a home, a place to work hard and dedicate myself to an education that is invaluable to my career. I'm proud to say that I worked very hard to get this scholarship. Knowing that few students receive full scholarships in the music department, which is very rare, and that I would be funding my education alone, I worked with my teacher for a year preparing my audition. That year was difficult. I was participating in all the ensembles that I could and still waitressing to make ends meet. Receiving this scholarship changed everything. I no longer wait tables. I've been able to secure jobs playing viola, and I coach a youth orchestra in Palo Alto. Even as an undergrad, I did not have the luxury of being able to spend 100% of my time focused on my degree, something I think is crucial as a student. And having this extra time has allowed me to take classes outside my requirements, participate in music seminars and workshops, and co-found the quartet you just heard play. All of this is possible because of the generous fund founded by Mr. Nagel and continued by his board of directors, as well as the wonderful faculty and staff in the Department of Music. When I leave in August to spend a year studying music in Germany as an exchange student, I'll take with me the things I've learned in my time here. I will take with me the hard work and dedication that are never undervalued at this university, where students will always find the support they need if only they think to ask. Thank you so much.
Please welcome our next student speaker and scholarship recipient, Martha Joseph.
Hi, my name is Martha Joseph, and I want to thank all of you for having me here tonight. When I first started writing the speech, I didn't really know where to start. So I asked the wonderful people at the Guardian Scholars Office, and they suggested that I begin with a day in my life and go from there. As I was thinking about what makes up a normal day for me, I had one of those moments that completely changes your perspective. I realized that my days are good, that my days are safe, and they fill me with a level of pride that I have never known. I'm in the best place of my life right now, and I owe it all to the decision to educate myself. Sorry. But the change that education has brought to my life, the future that it has given me, would not have been possible without the Guardian Scholars Program. Hi, Zochi. As a child, I was in and out of shelters and foster homes, constantly moving, changing schools, and always finding myself saying goodbyes. I quit school at 16 in order to find a job so that I could make sure that the rent was paid every month and that the lights stayed on. I had a minimum wage job, which I was so grateful for because I thought it was the best that I could ever hope for. I thought college was too expensive and for people with paths better than mine, and I thought it was for people that were better than me. But programs like the Guardian Scholars changed all that. The Guardian Scholars made me feel as though I belonged here. They made me a part of their community. They helped me see that I am more than my past. They celebrated my triumphs and built me up in moments of uncertainty. They helped me buy my books when I couldn't afford it. They offered housing to students with nowhere to go. They provided us with funds so that we never have to worry about going hungry on campus. They make sure that we have what we need to succeed. They walk with us every step of the way until we cross the stage, diploma in hand, having accomplished something some of us never thought possible, a future full of hope and promise. They see the best in us, and they try to help us see the best in ourselves. The amazing people at the Guardian Scholars Program showed me that offering kindness and encouragement to someone can make so much difference to a young person who wants to be the best version of themselves they can be. They showed me a few kind people can make a difference just by offering a helping hand, that I could be somebody to make a difference. This, in the end, is why I'm striving to pursue higher education, to help others, and to become the best me that I can be. I now see knowledge as a form of ammunition against injustice and ignorance. The more you have and retain, the more you have to fight obstacles that life will hand out. This is a message that the Guardian Scholars Program champions. They help us become more than statistics. They help us become fighters of injustice, champions of equality. They help us become the guardians of scholarship. Because of their help, I'm graduating this May with a 3.8 GPA and have recently been accepted to the San Francisco State Credential Program. I plan to wear my purple and gold with honor and show my Gator pride as I cross the stage next month, my head held high, knowing now that I am more than my past, that I am part of the Guardian Scholars family, part of the San Francisco State family, and for this and so much more, I thank them. Thank you.
I would like to introduce our Rosenberg Scholarship recipient and our next student speaker, Victoria Tai.
Hi, everybody. I'm Victoria Tai, and I'm one of the recipients of the Rosenberg Scholarship. The Rosenberg Scholarship has helped my family and I significantly. In a society where it's easy to lose interest and lose sight of education, I'm thankful to have the Rosenbergs encourage me as well as support my journey to higher education. My parents are both people from Vietnam, and they came to America to build a future in a country where all things are possible. They constantly encourage me to do whatever it is they were not able to do and have always tried to give me everything they could. What my parents and the Rosenbergs have in common and have also instilled in me is the idea that education is always number one. Right before my first year of college, my mom lost her job, and the following semester, my father lost his as well. At that time, I was working 2 jobs and interning at a radio station. It was overwhelming, but I felt as though I had to help support my family in every way that I could. Luckily for me, I applied for the Rosenberg Scholarship. I actually found out about it through my English course. It was like a remedial course. And my teacher suggested that, why not try? So I did. Luckily, I got the scholarship, and it's helped pay my tuition as well as help my parents out with whatever I had left over. I was able to quit one of my jobs and focus all of my time on school. The Rosenberg Scholarship has given me an opportunity to pursue my dream of working in television and film industry. My major in broadcasting will allow me to give a voice to the voiceless, as well as hopefully become a positive influence to others. With the support of the Rosenbergs, my family and I are not burdened with debt, and I cannot thank them enough for investing in my future and seeing the potential in me. The amount of gratitude that I have for Jerold and Phyllis Rosenberg is indescribable and unconditional, and I will continually say that it is truly a privilege and an honor to be a recipient of their award. Your generosity is appreciated, and your thoughtfulness in creating the scholarship truly does make a difference for Andrea and I. And on behalf of Andrea and I would like to thank you so much, and our gratitude is unconditional. Thank you.
Wow, that's why we're here tonight, isn't it? Thank you so very, very much, students. It's hard to follow that. Thanks to all of our students tonight, those of you who spoke and those of you who are on the video. I know some of you are here this evening as well, so again, just thank you so very much. You know, the students truly are the reason that we're here tonight. It's all about the students. It's about their education, about their future, and about lives that are changed. And because of that, we also want to again thank our donors. And I hope it's really clear tonight to you that you did make a difference in the lives of these students. But tonight, we're here to celebrate the success of the Students First campaign. But this is not the end, however. It's really just the beginning as we embark upon the university's first major comprehensive campaign. As part of that campaign, we will continue to raise funds for scholarships to support our students. We will remain committed to work to ensure that students such as those who shared stories with us tonight, have access to higher education and the opportunity to pursue their dreams and to change their futures. So with that, I'd like to propose a toast to everyone who is involved with the Student First campaign. So please join me and raise your glasses and as we celebrate to all of the donors who supported scholarships, to the student scholarship recipients, to the wonderful fundraisers who raised the money for the scholarship gifts, and to our leadership who had the vision 2 years ago to embark upon this amazing campaign. So please stand and join me and celebrate. Thank you. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Congratulations to everyone in the room for the success of the Students First College Scholarship Campaign. Thanks for being here tonight. Have a safe drive home and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks, everyone.